Number 10. Island of the Dolls, Xochimilco, Mexico. Despite its history and status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Xochimilco is primarily known for its Isla de las Muñecas, or Island of the Dolls. Hidden among the Burz's many canals, the tiny island is famous for the hundreds of dolls and doll parts hanging from trees and scattered among the grass. Although it looks more like a horror movie set than anything else, the Chinampa, akin to an artificial island, used to be the actual residence of a now-deceased man named Julian Santa Barrera. After finding a dead girl's body in a nearby canal, Barrera collected and displayed the toys in the hopes of warding off evil spirits. Daring souls can hire their own boat, try to convince the driver to pay it a visit, and view it safely from the water. Number 9. Taylor Glacier, Antarctica. It may look like a geological crime scene, but the 5-story, crimson waterfall of Taylor Glacier, aka Blood Falls, is a completely natural wonder. The phenomenon can be traced back about 5 million years, when the glacier sealed off a microbe-rich lake beneath it. Isolated from light and oxygen, the water became more and more concentrated, both in terms of salt and iron content. The water's salinity level, about 3 times saltier than the ocean, keeps it from freezing, while the iron provides the color. It then seeps out through a fissure in the glacier, and we get to witness the gory display. Number 8. Gomentang Caves, Sabah, Malaysia. The Gomentang Caves in Malaysia are geographical wonders, with limestone walls reaching up to 300 feet in some spots, but visitors often leave the site describing it as one of the most disgusting wildlife experiences they've ever had. First things first, Gomentang is home to more than 2 million bats, which leads to impossibly thick layers of guano, otherwise known as bat poop, covering the ground. And don't even think about slipping, because the handrails are just as filthy as the floor. If you can make it through the river of bat droppings, you'll then encounter several million Malaysian cockroaches scurrying around. Wherever the guano is, that's where the cockroaches will be. Read, everywhere. Finally, if you get past the bat smells and cockroaches crawling up your legs, there are several other wonderful creatures you just might happen upon, including snakes, scorpions, freshwater crabs, and the infamous giant Scutigera centipedes, poisonous critters that are at least 3 inches long. Number 7. Christ of the Abyss, San Frutuoso, Italy. Although there are several versions of the same Jesus statue scattered around the ocean floor, including Key Largo, pictured, the original version is located in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of San Frutuoso. The 8-foot-tall likeness was commissioned by Italian diver Giulio Marcanti in 1954. Marcanti wanted to place some sort of memorial at the exact spot where his friend Dario Gonzatti died while diving a few years prior. And thus, Christ of the Abyss was born. The result is vaguely spooky, especially with the deity's outreached arms and upward gaze. The algae and corrosion only add to the effect, although the statue was removed from its watery home in 2003 for some much-needed restoration, including replacing a hand that a rogue anchor had broken off. Regardless of whether you find the monument eerie or beautiful, or both, it's certainly worth taking a 55-foot dive down to snap an underwater selfie with Jesus. Number 6. Hanging Coffins, Sagada, Philippines. If you want to visit the dead in Sagada, you'll have to look up rather than 6 feet under. The people of this region are known for burying their dead in coffins attached to the sides of cliffs, like an aerial cross-section of your average cemetery. The tradition goes back thousands of years. Carve out your own coffin, die, and get hoisted up next to your ancestors. Many of the cliffside coffins are hundreds of years old and all look completely different, as they were specially made by the person who now rests inside of them. Number 5. The Door to Hell, Dirwas, Turkmenistan. While Joss Whedon led us to believe that the entrance to hell could be found in Sunnydale, California, he was actually some 7,500 miles off. Located in the middle of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan is the Door to Hell, a name locals gave to a 230-foot wide crater that simply won't stop burning. When Soviet scientists began searching for oil back in 1971, they accidentally hit a methane reserve and the drilling platform collapsed, forming the crater and releasing dangerous gas into the air. The scientists decided to light the crater on fire to burn off the methane, creating a Dantesque anomaly that has remained lit for the past 40+ years. Number 4. Capuchin Catacombs, Palermo, Italy. Of all the catacombs in the world, from Salzburg to Paris, none are quite as creepy as Sicily's Catacomb dei Capucini, Capuchin Catacombs. The macabre space was created back in the late 16th century when the cemetery at the Capuchin monastery became overrun. Religious men were originally intended to be the exclusive residents, but once word got out about the natural mummification processes occurring in the space, it soon became a status symbol for local citizens to earn a final resting spot there, in their best clothing, of course. As a result, the underground tombs now contain around 8,000 bodies divided into separate corridors, including one for religious figures, one for professional men, one for children, and even one for virgins. The corpses are displayed like a museum exhibit, dressed to the nines and arranged in grotesquely lifelike posts. Sound like fun? Number 3. Snake Island, São Paulo, Brazil. Located about 90 miles off the coast of São Paulo, Ilha de Queimada Grande, also known as Snake Island, is one of the most dangerous islands in the entire world. The site earned its moniker due to its insanely high density of golden lancehead vipers. Some studies report an average of 1 to 5 snakes per square meter. When sea levels rose some 11,000 years ago and separated Snake Island from mainland Brazil, the newly isolated snakes became hyper-evolved and hyper-terrifying to adapt to their changing environment. Without any ground-level prey on the island, the snakes learned to hunt in the treetops and strike at birds from the air. And because they couldn't track down the birds and wait for the poison to kick in, their venom adapted to become 5 times stronger than that of their mainland counterparts, capable of killing their prey instantly, as well as melting human flesh. Because of their potency, the Brazilian government bans the public from ever setting foot on the island, as if you would want to. Number 2. Kawah-ljen Volcano, Java, Indonesia. The Kawah-ljen Volcano in Indonesia is equal parts terrifying and spectacular. The Java peak has abnormal amounts of sulfuric gases that reach temperatures of more than 1000 degrees Fahrenheit and combust as they seep through the cracks and come in contact with the air, terrifying. The gases sometimes condense into liquid sulfur, which then takes on an otherworldly shade of blue and flows down the volcano like lava, spectacular. While the beautiful lights can only be seen in the dark, Kawah-ljen sulfur burns at all hours. As a result, the surrounding air is filled with sulfur dioxide, and the adjacent crater lake has turned green from hydrochloric acid saturation. Number 1. The Great Blue Hole, Belize. Located about 60 miles off the coast of Belize, the Lighthouse Reef boasts beautiful coral and shallow turquoise waters, and a vertical drop that's more than 400 feet deep. Meet the Great Blue Hole, a 1,000 foot wide, perfectly circular sinkhole in the middle of the atoll. Divers flock to the site to witness the unique geology, which includes massive underwater stalactites and stalagmites that formed during the last glacial period. The limestone shelf surrounding the vertical cave sits about 40 feet below the surface, and then it's a straight jump down into the unknown. The further down divers go, the clearer and more beautiful the rock formations supposedly become. To appreciate how fully bone-chilling this experience is, check out the viral video of world champion Guillaume Neri freediving straight down into the blue hole.